Time now once again for another edition of our area stat leaders, the top 5 boys and girls points, rebounds, and assist leaders here in North Central Ohio. And with only a week left in the girls and a week and a half left in the boys basketball season, it is coming down to the wire for our champions. We still might have a Triple Crown champion. We might have one on the boys side with some work. We'll just have to find out to see how that works out. But let's get right into it. And as always, ladies first. So let's take a look at the points leaders on the girls side. And just like it has been for the last probably year and a half, Corey Vermillion out in front, 27.6 points per game. Ahead of Kendall Beverly of South Central, she is sitting at 23.2 points per game. And the cool thing is there's a little possibility that those two could meet up in a regional semifinal if Vermillion and company win their Northeast District Championship, and if Beverly and company at South Central can win the Willard District Championship. That'd be quite the matchup between the top 2 scorers in North Central Ohio. At number 3, Kayla Larimore of the Centerburg Lady Trojans at 19.1. Rival Callie Carpenter from Fredericktown right behind her at 18.7 points per game. And Anaya Mitchell of Marion Harding at 15.6. Now let's take a look at the rebounding leaders, and once again, Corey Vermillion right there tied with Grace Lamoureux of South Central, both with 12.1 rebounds per game. Mia Miller of Mohawk sitting just behind them at 11.8 rebounds. Brooke Frombaugh of Winford sitting at 11 rebounds, and Ava Brown, the sophomore from Lexington, 10.8 rebounds. Shout out Lady Lex upsetting Shelby at home last night. Big win for Lady Lex as they get ready for tournament time. Now to our assist leaders, and as you can see, Vermillion just behind Grace Walton with a chance to become her first ever Triple Crown winner. Walton ahead of her by 0.2 assists, 4.4 assists. Vermillion at 4.2. That could be made up in just one game, the way those two can play. Grace Lamoureux of South Central sitting right behind Vermillion at 4.1. Abigail Hardwick of Hardington Lincoln and Kylie Hess of Danville, both with 3.9 assists. So it's coming down to the wire. Can Vermillion pull it off, or can one of these other girls like Grace Walton or Lamoureux keep her from getting that Triple Crown? Now moving on to the boys' side of things and taking a look at the points leaders, and another small chance at a Triple Crown winner there with Alex Bruscotter, but he's got to have to catch Mad Max Dawson in the points category. Dawson at 25.4 points, Bruscotter at 24.8. Those two will meet in the final game of the regular season, a game you'll see live and free on the OH Report. Maybe that could determine our scoring champion. We'll have to wait and find out. Justice Thompson might have something to say about it. He's just behind them at 23.5 points per game. He has a favorable schedule to finish out the year as well. Carson Smith, 22.3 points per game from River Valley. And then Trey Booker, despite being injured, he did enough during the season that he still sits in 5th at 20.8 points per game. You have to have at least 20.8 points to be in the top 5 on the boys' side. That is just phenomenal. Now on to the rebounding leaders, and Brady Critchbaum of Hillsdale sitting on top with 12 rebounds per game. Hillsdale's got a really good chance of winning a sectional championship this year. They have a favorable path in the tournament to at least do that. Nolan McCullis of the St. Paul Flyers, 10.6 rebounds, helped them upset Crestview for Crestview's lone loss of the season. They have a chance of clinching a tie in the Firelands Conference if they win out. Payne DeGray of Colonel Crawford at 9.8, and third, Aiden Kenny of River Valley in 4th with 9.1, and there's Alex Bruscotter once again at 9 rebounds per game at number 5. Finally, to our assist leaders, Logan Thrapp and Jack Fickus, right 1 and 2. Thrapp from Harding at 7.6 points per game. Jack Fickus of Hillsdale at 7.5, so that's still up for grabs. Bruscotter sitting there in 3rd at 5.8. Amar the Star Davis in 4th at 5.6 assists. And then Chase Ebert of River Valley at 5 assists. River Valley, a very good squad. They have a chance of making some noise in their district tournament. They're the number 2 overall seed in the Central District. And with all these playmakers, They have a really good shot. A lot of these players in our top 5 on each girls and boys side have a shot at making deep tournament runs. That'll wrap it up for this edition. We will have our final edition of the Stat Leaders probably going to be on the podcast, because next week, the final week of the Joe Show. I can't believe it's already come to an end. It's been so much fun doing that. So we'll have the final Country Roads rankings and the final Stat Leaders on the podcast coming up here in a couple of weeks. But next week I will have my second to last edition of the Country Roads rankings right here. But for now, back to you, Mr. Baylog.